Hi, guys. When you come in, say hi so I know that you're here with me in the comments. Hi, how are you? Where's Reunion Island? That's such a cool name. Hi, Aqua Tattoo. Oh, I just realized. Oh, sorry, Masha. Masha's like laying on my microphone. Hi, everybody from Chicago. I love it, love it. Hi, beautiful. Hi, Danny. Hi, beautiful. Masha says hi. She just got her bath and is all clean. She's tired. All right, so I want to talk about this because I think this is super important. So, 3D does not dictate or control or decide for you your outcome, only you do. So, part of this whole game of persist until it hardens into fact means that you don't let just something or someone or any time anything, a circumstance is showing in your 3D reality, you don't look at that as if that's Bible. You don't look at that and you're like, oh my God, because this just happened, or this was just said to me, or I got the answer no, or I didn't hit the goal I wanted to hit, or I didn't get the apartment I wanted today, or the job that I wanted today, or the money in my bank account, whatever, or SP texted me, whatever, right? We can go on and on and on. That does not mean that you take that and because it didn't manifest right now this second in your favor, that you're still not going to get what you want. And that's what this whole game is about. That's how you transcend circumstances. That's how you become a master manifester. Oh, thank you, Eva. You've helped me so much in my self concept and affirmations. I need help with my man who is a friends with benefit. What do you advise? Well, what do you want? And what is your self concept in relation? If I'm assuming you don't want friends with benefits, so why are you accepting that? You don't accept what you don't desire. You see what I'm saying? The versions of people that accept less than what they want, there's a reason that they do that. Some will say, well, you know what? This is just going to hold me over until I get what I want, right? So I'm okay with it temporarily. Some will say, well, I'm scared to say no because if I say no, then I'm going to lose what I want, right? So you have to understand, what are your motives? Why are you accepting this if it's not what you want? And if it's motives because it's rooted in fear or not good enough or a low self concept, then you have to change your story. You have to change your story of your self concept in relation to that person. And you have to change your story of what the fuck you deserve and love, and that the people in your love life, that's how they're going to show up for you. And you don't settle for anything in lower than that. So we have to stop looking and giving up our power constantly, that not everything manifests in fucking 5 seconds. Most things don't manifest that fast, but you still always get what you want. That is what the law of assumption is. Are you assuming that it's already yours? Are you walking around every day dominantly in your mind, thinking and knowing and persisting in the story that you already have what it is that you desire? Most of you aren't, when you're still trying to affirm and control your 3D, or you're still looking at 3D as if it's truth, looking at the current reality as if it's telling you, if you're going to get something or not. And that is what the work is. The work is to bust through all those habits. It's not how you're going to get your specific person. Or let me correct that. You'll still manifest in your specific person that way, but you'll manifest in the same bullshit cycle. So do you want more? Why are you settling for the same cycle? Why are you settling for the same relationship? Why are you settling for the same version of them? And why are you settling for you being the same version of you that felt insecure and not good enough? Is that's not the version that's going to actually get what they want. You can't. It doesn't match. I've seen a change in health with affirmations. I've seen a change in everything with affirmations and persisting. Everything is about persistence. The only reason why you're persisting, it's not to make it happen. You're persisting so you are focused on the outcome. So every time something showing up in my 3D reality, which is what I do not prefer, then I have a decision. Do I want to recreate that person? Do I want to choose a different reality where it's a different version of them and myself and the connection? Or do I want to release this person totally and go manifest someone new in? Like, that's your preference, right? Same thing with the job. Do you want to recreate your job? You want to recreate your boss, or you want to go to a different company? Like, you get to decide who you want to invest in mentally, who you want to recreate, and if you want to go with something totally new. But if your self concept in relation to those desires are not favorable, if you don't know you're amazing, if you don't know that this is going to work out for you, if you don't know you're going to get what you want, then you really need to work on your self concept. So the persisting is about convincing yourself that this is what you get to have. It's not making something change outside of you. It's you understanding that you're going to get what you want no matter what 3D reality shows you. That you don't look at 3D reality as if that's the concrete final decision answer, that the judge has ruled its decision. No, you just look at 3D as information. It's happening around you. It doesn't mean that it's going to continue being that way. It's all in the eye of the beholder. It's in what you're perceiving. And with anything, your businesses, your money, your bank account, your friends, your family, your weight, your health, everything, you have to decide you get to have something better. You have to decide that you're no longer available for these realities where you don't win. You have to change your mindset, and you have to trust in the unseen and know that you're going to get everything you want. I mean, that's what this whole game is about. Do you feel there ever comes a point where you should let go of manifesting SP back, or would you just keep persisting? I mean, it really depends. Like, do you really love the person or really want a round two? You know, if the answer is yes, I would still make it about you, because they'll still manifest in, but you'll also manifest other people. And you might realize, in comparison with your new self-concept and the new reality you want, now that you have new versions of people in your life, you may compared the new SP to your old one, that the new SP fucking knocks it out the park. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what you're going to get, except it's only going to get better and better. So I think it's a real personal decision. I don't think it means you failed in any way if you choose not to manifest your SP back, because they're just one person out of 8.5 billion that, you know, can rise to the occasion for you. And a lot of you aren't even going to want your specific person back, because a lot of you are going to understand that you are manifesting that person when you were such a low self-concept. And when you change your self-concept, some of you, not all of you, but some of you will look at that specific person and you'll be like, oh no, there is no real attachment, right? I'm not really in love with them. Like, I really don't want a round two with them. I want a round new with somebody different that's fucking way better. So it just depends on you. But if you choose to manifest them back, I mean, you still live your best life. You still focus on you, and you don't know what's going to happen in the interim that you meet somebody else. Hi, Alyssa. I love when you come on during cardio. Oh, good. Oh, I love you too, Kate. How long is too long? It's been almost 4 years. Well, I mean, I would look at what's going on with you, in the sense that, are you dating others? Are you living your best life? If you're just sitting here affirming and, you know, kind of not knowing your worth and value, then that would explain why it's taken 4 years. But also too, it's we don't wait on our manifestation. If you assume that you are already loved, wanted, chosen, if you assume you're already wifed up, if you assume you are the prize to catch, if you assume you're already going to be in the relationship of your dreams with the person of your dreams, then you don't mind. Like, you don't sit here and need it to show up. You're just living your life, and you trust and know it's on its way. Do you know it's inevitable? Do you know that you're going to get what you want? I did not pause anything, love, but I'm live streaming so to 3 platforms or 4. So who knows? It could be your phone, or it could be, you know, the connection. I know when I rewatched one of these that I did, it was skipping and freezing a little bit. So it might be that. Oh, bless you. Um, does it take 4 hours for doggy to drive? I don't every 2 weeks, because I'm not the best one to do her hair. It's not my specialty. I mean, it can take them, depends how many puppies they have there, right? But I dropped her off today at like 10:30, and they were done with her by, no, I dropped her off at 9:30 and they were done with her at like 11:30. So it wasn't too long. Sometimes it'll take them a long time. Can you please tell what's better for overnight reprogramming, affirmations, or subliminals? So super confused about the two. Okay. So reprogramming your mind doesn't happen while you're sleeping. It can happen when you're falling asleep. If you wake up, depending what level of sleep you're at and the REM that you're in while you're sleeping, or upon awakening. So there's a myth going out there because these people want you to watch their meditations and get the views because they get ad revenue for it. So if you're sleeping with things, it's not going to reprogram your mind fully and completely, because if it did, then everyone would do that and then nobody would have to work on their thoughts throughout the day. So I don't listen to subliminals because I don't know who the fuck is making them and what they actually said in the subliminals, because you can't hear it. So I personally would not use subliminals unless you know it's from a trusted source and you know what they're saying is real. And if you want to listen to affirmations while you're sleeping, that's fine. But what are you doing throughout the day? Because like I've said a million times, listen, I only made that 1 8-hour chosen meditation because I got 5 million trillion emails when I made like a 20-minute one, and everybody was like, make an overnight one. And I wrote in the description, like, this is not the answer to reprogramming your mind. It may help you a little bit because like I said, when you're falling asleep, you'll hear it, and at different periods throughout the night, depending on your sleeping level, you might pick up some of it, and then upon wakening, but that's it. So you can listen to it before you go to sleep and listen to it when you wake up, and it would have the same effect. But it's not the answer. If it were the answer, then that's what everyone would do, and everybody would have their mind reprogrammed 100%. You will talk yourself out throughout your day of what you just listened to the night before if you don't observe your thoughts and direct your mind to where it's going. Hi, Allison. I keep on affirming we're in a happy, loving, committed relationship. Relationships are easy for me. Everything works in my favor. Beautiful. I'm not able to be consistent on my self-concept. I get back to my low worth. Well, babe, you have to practice being her, right? That's what this whole game is. It's practicing being the new version of you, whether it's a new version that has more money, a new version that knows her worth and value, a new version that has a new body shape, weighs a different thing, right? A new version that has different confidence about her, a new version that's living in a different neighborhood, a new version that is, working a different job. Like, all these are our labels and identities that we have adopted and accepted as truth. And you're learning how to reprogram a new identity, a new label, which is concept of self, in order until you know it's your new truth. And so when we first do it, it feels awkward. When we first do it, we don't believe it. When we first do it, we don't buy it. And we always go back to the old identity because that's what we know and we're familiar with, and we've been longer than we've been the new one. So that's why you have to keep practicing her until you become her, and you will become her. And even when you're her, there still will be moments you might fall back into a moment of low self-concept because we are triggered in life and we have 70,000 thoughts that run through our mind every day. And so you can still have a negative thought. You can still have a doubtful thought. That's okay. Your job is just not to dwell there, believe it, and accept it, and allow your mind to keep thinking that way. I want my SP to come see me, but he keeps on giving me excuses. Well, stop chasing him. Stop asking him. You have a version that's obviously not conformed. So why are you even dealing with that version? I wouldn't even ask that version anything, or because he's not going to come if he's not the right version. It's crazy, but I didn't believe it, but I just got a job and I wrote that last year about this one. I love it. Love it. Congratulations. Oh, thank you. Masha is a cutie pie. Kim, I'm an OG fan. Thank you so much for all you do. You're my inspo. Oh, I want to leave MH field, mental health field, to become a coach too. Oh, good. Good for you. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. If it's what your heart is telling you to do, then go for it. Could you tell us about your routine or what techniques you do? Well, from the time I wake up in the morning, my brain is like programmed a lot because I've mastered my mind, because I'm doing everything I tell you guys to do in every single video that I ever put out. So when I wake up, my brain just naturally focuses on a favorable story. Like I don't have to make it do it, it just does it. And I'm constantly paying attention to my mind. Now, in the morning, I do like to script and I like to do visualization for about maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds. And I do that every day pretty much. And then throughout the day, I'm just paying attention of my thoughts. Like I don't listen, certain music I stopped listening to a long time ago. Like if you guys, you want to know a good manifestation playlist is it Chris and Teebs? So it's the name Chris N and then Teebs. He has an album called Manifestation, and then there's a second album, Manifestation 2, and they're all manifesting songs. There's a whole bunch. You can find Spotify. You can look on Pandora. Is it Monifa or Motifa? I can't remember her name, but she sings a lot of affirmation songs. Like there's a lot of manifesting songs. So I listen to that shit because then when I listen to that music plays in my head too. My brain likes to sing it back to me and it's all like good affirmations. That's what I do all day. I just affirm in my mind. I redirect my mind. I focus and put my attention on the reality and the version of me that I desire. That's all I do. I don't do 800 million techniques. I just sit there and pay attention to my thoughts and choose the thoughts that support my new self-concept in whatever area of my life, and then what I want to manifest. And if I feel myself get anxious, I take deep breaths and I remind myself, I got this. I'll ask myself what if questions, like what if I was on the other side of this? Who would I be? What if I already knew the solution? What if I already had what I wanted? Who would I be? And then I start shifting into her. So you have to train your mind to think differently. It isn't enough just to do techniques all the time. It depends. If you do a technique and you don't worry about it all day and you don't have a negative story that makes you feel like and know that you're not going to get it, then you probably don't need to sit there and affirm for it. You did the technique, you trusted and you know it's yours and you don't worry about it, it'll manifest. But if you're someone that you do a technique on affirmation or you think the new thoughts, but all day long, your brain is telling you the opposite of what it is that you desire, or you don't know it, or you don't think you can have this thing, and that's the dominant story, well, then that's what's going to manifest. So you have to master your mind. Everyone talks about living in the end. How do you get that state, that feeling? Well, I asked myself the questions that if I had what I wanted, who would I be? If I were already living the reality that I want, what would be the conversations I'd be having with people, like my best friend, SP, whoever, right? So then I would do those conversations in my mind as if that was my life, right? If I was like washing dishes and I had the reality I wanted, and your brain's like wanders off when you're doing mundane tasks like that, what would I be focusing on? Well, I probably would be pulling up memories of yesterday or last week. So that I would create those memories of me having what I want, celebrating hitting $1 million, celebrating the goals that I want, different things that I want. And that's what I would be focusing on. So it's just, there's so many different ways you can do it. You can just ask yourself, if I had what I wanted, who would I be right now? If I literally was the version of me in the reality where I had everything I desire, who would I be right now? What would I be thinking? What would I be doing? How would I be feeling? What would I be focusing on? And you start sussing this stuff out and noticing, you'll start shifting because now you're focusing your mind to actually what you want. The 3Ds, your 3D reality doesn't dictate anything. It's just letting you, it's just how you're experiencing something in the 3D reality. It's how your senses are picking up information. It's like the final manifestation when it shows up in the 3D. It has to be here first and then you get it out here. Remember, you have to be delusional with stuff sometimes. It feels delusional because there's no evidence right now in your 3D showing you're going to get what you want, but you don't let that control you. You don't let that dictate you. And so you don't care what the 3D says. You know that this is what's happening. You know it's inevitable. You know it's on its way. And you persist in the story that supports that, of you knowing that and you trusting in that. Hey, Kim, everything you coach is so true. It's hard to break through the old self, but so worth it. You help me up level myself so many times. Oh, good, Alicia. That makes me happy, babe. Yay. That's what it's about, right? It's so fucking worth it to get on the other side. None of us need to feel like shit. We don't have to, right? What do you do when you can't stop chasing them? You fucking stop chasing them. You can do anything you want. You have a mindset and a belief system about you that makes you feel like you have to chase someone. You don't have to chase anybody. Are you going to die if you don't chase someone? No. So what is the story that you have that says if you don't do this, then something bad's going to happen, and you got to conquer that story. You have to ask yourself, is that actually true? Does that happen to everyone on the face of the planet if they stop chasing someone? You're going to see the answer is no. And you have to also ask yourself, why, what are my insecurities about me in relation to them that I keep chasing them? You don't have to chase anything. You do not have to chase a fucking thing in your 3D reality. You don't chase money, you don't chase SPs, you don't chase the car, you don't chase the neighborhood, you don't chase anything. You just affirm, focus, and become the version of you that's matching that reality, that is that version and that reality that knows they get to have this. And then it manifests into you at some point, and then you can take action from that version of you that's already in the dominant state that you get to have this. But you have to reprogram your self concept. So you have a story that says, I'm not good enough to get what I want because if I don't chase, they'll leave and never come back. So that means you don't feel good about you. And then you feel probably scared and insecure, because I've been there. We've all been there. And then so you've trained yourself that if I chase them, it makes me feel better. I get that instant relief when they answer. Even though I know it's not really good and it goes away, it makes me know they're still there. So then you got to look at, what can I do instead? You don't chase anything. How do you persist when you suffer from borderline personality? Well, I mean, I don't know if you're really diagnosed that or if you're self-diagnosing, but obviously you got to work on yourself. I know with borderline personality disorder, DBT therapy is like really beneficial and long term and supportive for people struggling with that personality issue. So you can, continue doing that. If you're not doing that, I suggest you look it up and see if it's something you might be interested in. Talk to your therapist that specializes in supporting you with personality, with borderline personality disorder, if that's genuinely what you have. And then you also persist in working on your self concept and a story that supports that you don't have to sabotage anymore, that you can think better thoughts about yourself, that you don't have to live in a mindset that is rooted in fear and abandonment, and that people aren't out to get you, and you're going to change your story of you and focus on a self concept so you start to trust yourself. Because a lot of times the borderline personality disorders, there's that perceived abandonment, there's a lot of stuff that can go with it, and it's really rooted also in it, the lack of safety in you makes you feel unsafe with others and gives you that polar experience where you can idolize people because they emulate things, or they can make you feel a certain way right when you're first with them, and then you can devalue them like immediately because it's almost going into, oh, well, I can't trust this, I can't be safe in this. So you got to really learn how to think from the perspective of, how do I make myself feel safe? How do I make myself feel good enough? And that's why like DBT therapy supports all of that. It helps you stay grounded. It supports and gives you techniques and training to become like a more stable version, that she can control her thinking and control her actions and not feed into the abandonment issues and the hysteria that can be produced by the belief systems that perpetuate all the emotional roller coasters and the experiences that you sabotage in your life, right? To keep it chaotic. Do you follow Joseph Murphy teaching? I have. Like, I don't follow him, but I mean, I've read his book, one of his books, and I agree with a lot he says. I don't agree with everything that they all, like, of all of them, even Neville, but I agree. I think him and Joseph, said it pretty good. How do I get SP to become a protector and provider for me? Well, affirm that, and affirm that you're worthy of being treated that way, and that that's the reality you're in, and that's how the men you desire show up that way for you. And you persist in that until you become familiar with that way of thinking. You become familiar with that story where you know that this is what you get to have, right? And people will conform around you. Hey Kim, thank you. Support me with trying to manifest money, please. Not sure where to begin, and I have a lot of luxuries I want, and I want the abundance. We'll start affirming that this is the life you get to have, that it feels so good. Thank you that I now have X amount of dollars in my bank account. Thank you that every time I turn around, there's money flowing into me. I love that I have a luxury lifestyle. I love that everybody gives me everything that I want. I love that it's so easy for me to find more and more money, that every day I receive extra money from places I expect and unexpected places as well. It feels so good to live this life. I can't believe that I manifested this life. You see what I'm saying? You just go on and on with the story that you get to have this, and you're unavailable to have anything less. That this is who you are and this is what you get to have, and you persist in that. If the 3D doesn't match it right now, that's okay. It has to catch up eventually. You just keep going within. And if in a week the 3D is not matching your new story, I don't care. You keep persisting in the story in you until you know this is what you get to have, until you know it's inevitable. And then you'll start seeing it conform around you until it solidifies and you actually are living that way consistently, right? Because that's what we want. We don't want something coming in and then coming back out. We want something coming in and building and stacking and more money, right? More and more cash, more and more luxury, more and more feelings of safety, because you'll probably be triggered when that money is coming in if you're not used to having it. So you're going to have to pay attention to your mind and then reprogram it as well. But you don't ever take the 3D as, evidence, right? And that has to be it. Like, because it didn't show up, then I'm not getting what I want. Fuck that. That's not what we're doing here. You're deciding what you get to have. Somehow, some way, it's all going to come together for you. I know. I have this multi-streamer to make my work life so much easier. Oh, I love you too, babe. Yes, you can date whoever you want while you're manifesting. You don't put your life on hold for anyone. You want to go have fun and be, romanced, knock your socks off. If it feels right for you and that's the version of you that's like, I am ready to have fun and see what luscious juiciness is out there, then go for it, girl. They'll still come back. Power vibes. Yes. I always feel fake when being my new self, like I'm playing a role. Is that normal? Yes, because you haven't assumed the role yet, right? It's not real to you yet. It's not your truth. Your truth and familiarity is based more in who you've been. So you're reconditioning your mind and your body to get to know this new person. It's like anything you learn new, like dancing, driving, a new foreign language, anything that is new math, right? When we're in school and we're learning like fucking calculus and algebra. That shit didn't come natural for most people. It was like, what the hell is this, right? You had to practice it. And over time, it became easier and easier. You have to practice the new language. You have to listen to other people speaking the new language, hearing it over and over, and practice speaking it and thinking it and writing it and reading it and all the things we do until it starts to become normal and familiar to you. Anything, you're learning to tie a fucking shoe or drive a car, you don't know how to do it. It's not normal for you now. After a couple months of doing it, a couple years, it's like it's so easy. Like you don't even think. Your subconscious it's auto programmed. It knows what to do and your body follows. That's why we can just drive and not even realize how we got somewhere, because we drive that route every day. You could think about a million other things, but your body knows where to turn. Your body knows exactly where you're going, even if you're not consciously focused 100% with intent of driving. You know how to tie your shoe. When you first learned, you didn't know. It felt very weird to you, but this is what the work is. You're transforming, you're becoming someone new. So we don't remember any of this. This is why you don't take your cue from the 3D. That's why you just keep persisting in the version of you that has everything you want, the entire dream life, the SP, the dream relationship, a new person. It doesn't fucking matter. The new you who knows their worth and value, that anytime they're dating any fucking SP, they never feel fucking insecure, that they know anybody feels lucky as fuck to be with them, that they don't settle in life, that they get the very best treatment, that they have all the money that they want, that they're accumulating more and more money if they want. They found their passion, they found their purpose, they're making a shit ton of money doing it. Like whatever it is you want, you just have to persist and decide this is who you are and this is what you get to have, and trust and know that it will eventually show up. If you already were successful, who would you be? If you already were in the relationship of your dreams, who would you be? You wouldn't be the person who, was sitting here worrying, like, am I ever going to get a relationship? Am I ever going to be loved by somebody I desire? No, because you would already be having it. It would already be your experience. If you already had that money in the bank account, who would you be? You wouldn't be the version of you that's sitting here scared to death about how you're going to pay your bills in 2 weeks, right? No, it's a different version of you. It's a different way of thinking and different way of being. And you have to persist in that until it becomes very natural and normal for you to be that version of you. Do you recommend having a certain level of education before you pursue a coaching career? So it's not the education, because to be a coach, you don't have to be educated. You want to learn skill sets from qualified coaches that can teach you how to actually coach, right? I mean, think of it. If I'm going to go do something new and teach it to others or help people with something, shouldn't I have experience with it? And if you've never like professionally helped someone, you're not going to understand all the nuances that can show up. And that's why we have a lot of shitty coaches, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And it's not because they haven't been trained. It's because they refuse to go get the training, and they just put up videos calling themselves coaches, but they actually don't even know how to help people. Most of them can't even help themselves. Right? You don't want to have bad business practices. You want to understand what is out there that I can learn, like NLP. There's different levels of NLP training. These are really great techniques and skills that you can use to help people. There's hypnotherapy if you want, EFT. There's coaching programs that actually teach you how to become a coach and like how to actually coach people. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think it doesn't matter like if you have a certificate as a coach, because I was saying in some of my other videos, you can literally go online and find some shammy fucking website and pay $50 and probably get a certificate, but it's calling yourself a coach, but you learned absolutely nothing of what it means to actually be a coach. You see what I'm saying? So you want to find a good program. Now, I know the girl that trained me who's above board. She's one of the best trainers out there for coaches, for NLP practitioners. She teaches the masters of all this stuff. This is her thing. This is what she's done for a long time. This is where I got my training from, and I just gave her name to some people, and one of them just went and flew from San Diego to Florida. She has online and in-person ways to get training, and the girl emailed me back and she was like, oh my God, you were so right. I had the best time. And I'm like, I'm so happy, because I'm not going to send you guys anywhere bad. I want good coaches. We have too many shitty coaches. And I want you guys, if you want to help people, we need more and more people helping people, because there's 8 billion people on the planet. So there's enough for all of us to help people. And I want you to do it the right way so you have the best time. You are more supported, and then you're able to help people in a better way, because a lot of these coaches, they just are very superficial, and all they're like basically doing is regurgitating fucking Neville's book, and that's it. They don't know how to get deeper. They don't know how to really get in there. It's very superficial answers. So if you're interested, Nikki, in any of that, or anybody else listening to this, if you click my link in the bio of any of my social media, well, especially Instagram and YouTube, I don't know where it is on Facebook, but I give you the links and a 20% discount if you want to join, to the girl Maritza that trained me and has her training programs, because she's fucking amazing and she's so above board, and you will learn really good stuff from her. And she's been doing this forever. You can look at that and see if that's something that interests you. And if you have questions about her programs, I would email her directly, because I can't answer like why her prices are whatever, or what she does in her programs because I didn't create the programs. They're her programs, right? And then I also, well, this wouldn't be for you, but anybody who's already an online coach or has an online service provider business, if you want to have more support in proven strategies, proven fucking mindset paired with actual strategies that work, and building your business towards more passive ways of income so you're not so burnt the fuck out, and really supporting you and creating an amazing business that you can be proud of, that has integrity, and all the ways I've built my own business that works. There's a lot of coaches out there that'll be like, oh, here's an $80,000 launch, right? Let me show you how to do it. But like, did they do it again and again and again and again? Or they'll tell you, oh, I just made, $60,000 in 3 months. Let me tell you how. But it's like, well, do you? So basically, that's $20,000 a month, right? Are you doing that $20,000 every month? Because just because you make money once doesn't mean you know how to make it twice. And I see that a lot. I actually, know people that are like, oh my God, I just did this month. And I'm like, all right, well, let's see you repeat it next month, because that means you have a strategy that actually works. And a lot of people haven't gotten the strategy down yet. And so they get the money once, but they can't recreate it at that level again and again. There's even coaches that'll say, when I opened my monthly coaching group, I got 100 people in 2 weeks, and let me show you how. Well, did they keep them? Are they growing more? Are they continuously, every time they launch, getting that amount or more? And if the answer is no, you don't want to learn from them because they haven't figured it out yet. You want to learn from people that this is what they do every single month, and it's staying the same and growing. Sometimes it can take takes a little bit to grow when you're at a high level to even supersede that. But those are the things you want to be mindful of. So if you're interested in that, I just opened my own business monthly coaching group, and the link, you can find it. I'll post it here I have freebies on here too. There's freebies for manifesting your specific person, freebies for working on your self-concept and love. There's freebies for business coaching stuff and money and success mindset stuff. And then I have the links to my new monthly business coaching group, and I have the links to getting all that info from Maritza about coaching programs. All right, this is the last question because I have to go, babes. Manifested my SP back after a breakup in 2020. I probably have an old story fear because he asked us to be friends 3 days ago. I was on a self-concept SP rampage before this, so probably a purge. How do I stop feeling triggered? Well, you want to go in and you want to reprogram the trigger, right? So the trigger, what is the trigger? What is the story that's causing you pain, right? So if we're suffering from a breakup, it's usually like fear, like you said, right? Fear that, oh my God, this is over. I'm not going to get this back, or fuck, I did this again, or they're not loving me. They don't want me. I lost the best thing ever, whatever. We all have this story that causes that emotional pain, right? So this is how you want to reprogram it and say, no, that's okay. I manifested extra space for us because I still have some self-concept work to do, right? I still have some work to do on my story so that I don't recreate this same situation over again. And you really have to persist in that until the trigger gets deactivated. And that may take time. It may happen quick, or it may take a little bit of time. I don't know, because I'm not you. But that's how you stop feeling triggered, is when you are triggered, you have to cognitively reprogram your mind to not fester and stay stuck in the story that's causing you the emotional pain. Because it isn't the fact that you broke up that's making you sad. It's the story you're holding of why you're broken up and what it means that you're broken up and what's the story you because you broke up. That's what's causing the emotional pain. That's why you feel so poorly and not in a good way about yourself. So you have to change all of that, babe, and you have to persist in that, knowing that this is not the end, knowing that there's always, you can always manifest anyone and anything you want. And this is just a reflection to let you know, I just got more work to do. I'm transforming, and it's going to get easier and better for me. And I'm going to even have a better experience with SP next time around, because that's what I'm worthy of, right? I'm worthy and deserving of being in the relationship of my dreams that's easy, that's peaceful, and that I feel good in. I am worthy and deserving of being in a relationship that's mutually beneficial and feels safe and amazing. I'm worthy and deserving of knowing my worth and confidence, and knowing that I get to have what I want and that I'm worthy and deserving to have what I want, right? I am worthy and deserving of feeling good as fuck about myself and knowing that any SP and any other person I desire romantically would be fucking lucky as fuck to have me. And I am worthy of knowing that and experiencing that. And you just persist always, you know? You're welcome, guys. All right, my loves, I have to go, but we just wanted to jump on and say hi. I'm sure I'll be jumping on tomorrow again for a quick little thing. And I love you guys so much. And I don't know where your super chat is, AMD. There's a million. It doesn't show up when I'm in this. I'm on one stream. So one stream filters. Oh, I see it. It doesn't flash for me like it does on YouTube because I'm not actually on YouTube. It's just streaming out to YouTube, two Facebooks and Instagram at the same time. So it doesn't show. That's why I don't see them. Okay, last question. What are your thoughts for manifesting weight loss and being okay where I am now? What kind of affirmations do you recommend? Well, so being okay right now is really important, right? That's what body positivity is, right? Even though we don't have the desired physique we want, we're still good enough and worthy and lovable, right? Because a lot of us, we tie in our self-worth and our self-esteem with how we look. So body positivity is about, even though I don't have the ideal body right now, I'm still worthy of being loved. Listen, I would tell myself this when I had little extra fat back rolls. I would be like, you know what, even with my fat back rolls, I'm still worthy and sexy and desirable. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if I look like this now or I'm at my ideal weight, I'm still worthy and lovable and desirable, right? And you just really persist in a story like that, a story similar to that until you know that and you've accepted that as truth for you. And then for manifesting weight loss, again, so what is the version of you if you had the weight loss? What is the version of you if you looked in the mirror and you were like, holy fuck, I did it, right? What's the story you'd be perceiving? Who are you identifying with? Is it just, I am loving my body. I have my dream body. You know, I shared in one of the other lives my story of how I got my weight 9 years ago was I wanted to work out. So I identified myself as a strong, fit, lean woman. Like that's who I am. And so I exercise. I'm not saying you have to work out, but I'm saying like, what is your version for you of what it means to have your dream body? Are you just someone who's naturally fit, right? Are you someone who just has a high metabolism? Are you someone who loves fucking yoga and you're a fucking yoga woman who, you know what I mean? Like decide for you what it is you want and then you persist in that story that this is who I am. So what I did was once I identified who I wanted to become, I would ask myself, okay, well, what does this fit, lean, strong version of me think when it comes to food and her food choices? What does this fit, lean, strong version of me think about when it comes to working out and things like that, right? So you can do this even if you're someone who's like, well, I don't really want to exercise. I just want to naturally lose the weight, like without doing anything really extra. Okay, so then what does that look like for you? Who's that version of you? What does she think about when it comes to food? What does she think about when it comes to her metabolism? What does she think about when it comes to how her body expends energy naturally, right? Like, what does she think about when it comes to her body in the sense of how it looks for her? So you just got to decide, who do you want to be, and then figure out, well, how does that version think and equate to food, calories, her body, her choices, things like that. And then you make it match the version you desire to be, you know? Somebody who's naturally thin that doesn't work out ever and has never really had to like watch their weight or do anything because they just have like a naturally high metabolism. They're typically people that just assume, because they already know their experience and who they are, their self-identity subconsciously is like, I'm fit, like I'm naturally thin, like I always have the physique I want, like weight is never an issue for me, right? They don't sit here and obsess and worry about dropping that 10 pounds, 20 pounds or whatever, because that's not the reality they've been in. So they have a completely different mindset. Somebody who works out, it's the same thing. Like they don't sit there and harp. They look at food as nutrition. They can splurge once in a while. It's more for fuel, right? They look at, the kind of exercise they like to do. They start like, for me, I love to heavy weight train. So I would not identify as like a runner because I don't do that. I've tried that. It's not my thing, right? So again, it's just knowing who do you want to be and then what's the story of all of that. And you just persist in it until you become it, and you will become it. I promise. That's how it works. You just don't give up because it doesn't manifest. And sometimes it's annoying, you know, sometimes it can take a little bit longer than others. Other things we're manifesting. It really depends on each individual person and just your belief system and how often you work on it and things like that. Oh, good, Mimi. I love that. She's finishing up her coaching course and would love to learn NLP to add to your arsenal. Oh, good. Maritza's the best, I'm telling you. The best coaches also have awesome coaches, I learned. Yes, we see, this is the thing. How the fuck am I going to ask somebody to invest in themselves and coaching and I don't do that for me? You see what I'm saying? Like, as a therapist, I always had a therapist because, and I surrounded myself. You always surround yourself, you're supposed to at least, like, you're supposed to surround yourselves, especially if you're in private practice, with like a team of therapists that you can connect with so you can talk about cases and things, obviously without breaking confidentiality, but where you may need support because you don't ever want to be in the ego that you know all the fucking answers, right? And just having that support. And if you're going through something in your personal life, then you would go to it. If you needed support, you would go to another therapist or a coach to work through it so it doesn't interfere with you being a therapist, right? As a coach, you would want to find other mentors in, you know, the coaching industry that you are learning from and aspiring to be like, or whatever, right? That's resonating with you, that have more than you, that are doing what it is you want to do, and you learn from them, right? And that's what I do. I'm always finding amazing coaches, and I'll spend the money. I don't care because it's just helping me become a better person mindset. And then I have support, and then I can share it with my clients, right? So I agree. I think anything we do in life, you should always be working on yourself. I mean, that's how you just get better at everything, in my opinion. All right, guys, we love you. Yes, it will be saved under on YouTube. It saves. It doesn't save on the other platforms. Or no, it does. It saves in my, if you're in my big free self-concept group, this should be streaming in there right now. It's also streaming on my Facebook, Kim Velez Conscious Coaching page. It'll be there. And then on YouTube, it'll save under the live tab because the other one's saved. All right, guys, we love you. And remember, if you want to get those freebies and any of those other things I mentioned, then there's the link. Oh, it didn't send it. I guess it's not letting me send a link. That's weird. All right, well, it's in my it's in go if you go to Instagram and YouTube and hit the link tree thing, it'll pull it all up for you. All right. We love you. Thank you for joining